first touchstone of connective cultures is facing the other, actually be able to be in a conflict situation, right? Because most of the time, it doesn't start nice, right? Like the reason why you don't talk, is it a she or he, the friend from different political party? The reason why you don't talk to her about politics, because it's a conflictuous situation. You know, for me, the first time I was faced with a conflict was in middle school. We had this group of bullies that kept beating this little kid. And everybody else just stood there and watched them. The teachers were afraid of these kids. Everybody was afraid and nobody touched them. And me too. You know, many of us are bystanders. We talked about, right, like bullying and being bullied. Most of the people in these conflicts, they are bystanders, which means we are contributing to the conflict. So for a long time, I was one of those. And then one day, they beat him up to blood and they laughed at his tears. And I stood there thinking, okay, I have to do something. So I decided to cross the divide and face them. I actually tried to become their friend, because that's how I deal with things. I became their friend, and I went to their houses. I helped them with homework. I watched them play soccer for hours. I listened to heavy metal music because that's what they liked. And little by little, I also introduced the little kid to them. So from somebody they didn't know, he became somebody they understood. And so as a result, they stopped bullying him. They stopped bullying him. They started getting better in their classes. They stayed in school until graduation, and we're still very close friends. I learned so much from those boys. I think my entrepreneurial success is very much due to the fact that I was friends with these boys, because these boys had no resources. Their father was an alcoholic. He was consistently abusing them and their mom. Nobody was helping them. They were on the streets all the time. So they taught me how to be street smart, how to hustle, how to survive with very little resources, and how important it is to be humorous, to see things with humor. Right? So here you go. I faced the other. I went into the conflict. It was quite brave to do that first step, but then we became friends, and I learned all these amazing things. So how can we practice this, right? Like, how can we practice conflict? Because what I also learned, the more often you talk to your friend in a conflict, the better you become. And you know what happens when we are good at something? We do it more often. So then you will see, like, now I am like a conflict queen. I am starting conversations. I can tell you, okay, being Jewish in Paris, every time I am in front of a Muslim person, I will tell them I'm Jewish. Because I want to have that conversation. I want them to meet one Jewish person who is nice, considerate, and wants to know their story. Right? So that's what this muscle, conflicting muscle gave me. So to conflict better, we need to, there are steps in my framework. I will share the framework with you later. You need to find out what's real in the situation. So I'll give you this very simple example. My friend, driving in Paris. Traffic, it's late, it's raining, he's tired. 2 lanes are going to merge into one. He's in one, the other car is here. Slowly merge, and you know, you take turns to merge. Finally, it's his turn. He thinks, okay, finally I'll merge. The other car is not letting him pass, just keeps going. He's like, what the hell are you doing? So he does what we usually do in a conflict, which is he doesn't look in the other guy's eyes. That's what we do, right? We're like, there is not another human being there. I'll just keep driving. That's what we do in our companies, in our families. We'll just like pretend this person doesn't exist there. Well, that car doesn't stop. So they almost hit their bumpers. Then my friend finally looks at the other guy like, what? The other guy is saying, I'm so sorry, I'm being towed. His car was connected to the other car in front of him. So he couldn't let him pass. So what's real? I love it. What's real? What's real in the conflict? What is actually happening, right? It's like us being in our scientific mind. What is going on with this other person? Why is she thinking that way, right? what's real. And of course, a very important part is that what Natalia was talking about. Step 2 is you're in charge of you, mastering our emotions. Breathing before we go into action, mastery of emotions. Step 3 is having a cup of tea. You know how when we have a cup of tea or beer or whatever your cup of tea is with somebody else, we can't really fight, right? Like think about how you fight with like drinking hot cup of tea with someone. So having rituals with people that we do not like or who are different from us that will slow us down so that we can see each other's humanity, so we can actually look into each other's eyes, is brilliant. It helps. It calms us down. We're not on defensive. We can actually listen, right? Do you know about Viktor Frankl? This is a great quote. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom to make choices. In those choices lie our growth and happiness. Again, back to what Natalia shared with us, meditation, mindfulness, all this practice to expand the space. I love to see it as a space. It gives me hope that I can be in charge of my emotions. All right, here, what I would love to do here, because we don't have so much time. Yes, I want to know, we're not going to practice this. Yeah, okay, this one. Can you please get up? Everyone. Well, I'm going to ask you something totally crazy, okay? We're going to play some music. It's actually a preparation for our tango workshop later on, okay? So in tango, what happens in tango is that two people come very close to each other, okay? Look each other in the eyes, and they take some mints before, they brush their teeth, they smell good, they take shower, they do, oh, so good, right? They look each other in the eyes, and only then they embrace, and then they dance. So what I'm going to ask you to do, we're going to play music. We're all going to go there where there is so much space, and you are all going to be just slowly walking around by yourself. We're going to stop the music. Whoever you're next to, please stand. Can you please come up? Please stand like this, as close as it's comfortable for you, not closer. If this is comfortable for you, it's okay. It's also important. Remember consent. Go as close as you want, and you ask the other person, are they comfortable? You stay. Make sure that you're standing on your both hips, that you are not leaning on one or the other. Okay? And I'm going to ask you to just look in each other's eyes when there is silence in the music. Okay? Some people have a problem looking because there are two eyes. If you are that kind of that person, I recommend you just choose one of them. The other person actually doesn't know, so you don't need to go from one eye to another. You just choose one, and you just deeply focus into that eye. Okay? You breathe, remember the lesson about breathing. Okay? When the music starts, you continue walking around, the music stops, you choose another person, and you do the exercise again. Can we do this? Yes? All right. Everybody to the empty floor.